People don't understand my background. My father was military, just like my husband is military. I trust being around military folks. When it all comes down to it, when things fall apart, you need warriors. You don't need politicians. You don't need laureates. You don't need pontificators. You need warriors. And I surround myself with them. So that's how I've been able to just maintain me. I want to thank everyone for all of your shares. Y'all got me crying like all through the day, and thank you for that. Thank you for these tears. They're good tears. They're cathartic. I've had some people say some things to me today. I've talked to some people today that don't necessarily agree with my choice for doing what I do and doing it the way I do it. I don't expect them to. This what I do. It's not for the faint of heart. Being extremely honest in a world that's bound by lies. So many lies. I kind of got sick and tired of the lies running my life. I've talked to some of my old friends that I haven't talked to in years. Due to my shares and my sharing, and someone said to me, make sure everything that you're saying about them is true and you're not embellishing anything, because you don't want them to come after you for defamation of character. And I said, well, that would have no integrity. So, I think I need to explain to people what my integrity is when it comes to all of these things that I'm sharing. First things first, considering that I've held most of these secrets for 15 to 20 years, clearly I'm not a snitch. I don't believe in snitching and even dry snitching. I'm from North Philly. We don't do that. We don't play them games. But if I gotta sound off, I'm not sounding off for no reason. I'm sounding off for a reason. I've had people ask me what my end game is with this. Am I looking for money? Am I looking for... I don't know. I don't know what people think. I don't understand why people don't understand what it means to atone. See, I was complicit in the crimes that these men, so-called men, perpetrated against women and men who stood for women. I was complicit when I didn't say anything. I think what did it for me was when I looked down at one of my posts, when I was apologizing and putting it out in the universe, Flo Brown, and I was just apologizing. I wasn't looking for anything to come back from it. I was just hoping that maybe somebody could give me some information so I could atone for my sins with her. Because she asked me to go to the police for her after she had her experience with the fellas. And I won't speak on it because it didn't happen to me and I wasn't there. They made sure I wasn't there, so whatever did happen could happen. But the hardest thing in the world for me was to tell her, no, I'm not going to the police station with you. I just need you to hold tight. Whatever this is, you'll get over it. We'll get over it. Let's just get to the other side for her integrity was so strong. And when I look back at it now, at 43 years old, almost 20 years later, why didn't I have that integrity? Why didn't I go to the police station with her? I feel like a Judas to women. My experiences and the things that I see with them. People wanted to know why I needed my own bus. I needed to be able to go to sleep. And I had to worry about whether or not somebody was going to try me that night. Because he did that. And what I'm realizing is that there's a lot of hurt people that have come into their realm, their wake. Unfortunate enough to cross their path. A lot of women. Apparently there's some women that, after their experience with them, wanted to commit suicide. And I apologize to all of you for not speaking up sooner. As a rape survivor, it was behooved of me to think, not of myself, but of y'all. But you work so hard for your career, and you think you're making all the right calculated choices, and you're not. starting this Wednesday, rather than do a Women Crush Wednesday post, I have a Zoom page set up. I'm going to post the information on how to get on the Zoom page. And from here on out, for Women Crush Wednesdays, I'm not sure if I'm going to do an early morning, an afternoon, or an evening, or maybe what I'll do on Wednesday is I'll just go on at all 3 times a day. And any woman that's been disrespected, disregarded, made to feel uncomfortable, made to feel less than, or assaulted by the movement, please join the cause. We need to talk to each other. We need to share our experiences with each other. We need to find out where the patterns are so we can figure out how to work together to make sure this doesn't keep happening to women. These niggas fronted like they were feminist supporters, and the truth is that they were misogynists. They treated us like maids and wet nurses. But they were so busy looking good, and they were such, the pride of Philadelphia. We didn't want to ruin it for the city, We worked so hard to get heroes again after Philly International. It didn't become so active anymore. Philadelphia was lacking. When we finally got it back, and it was like, man, we can tolerate this. We can get through this. There's a bigger goal. There's a bigger goal. There's a bigger goal. There's a bigger goal. The bigger goal should have been women supporting women. All the women that work with that camp, that have helped those gentlemen. It's nice in the thing. That will help those gentlemen, that have helped those gentlemen hurt women. In my mind, you're Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend. You're procuring the vampire. You're procuring the vampires. And your crimes against women should be held into account, no different than Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend. Playing with people's lives and using their talent and their need to succeed against them. It's one of the biggest crimes in the world. It's a gift from God. We're supposed to share. And yet, they make the share so hard. Yeah, you can share as long as you screw me. Yeah, you can share as long as you keep my secrets. Yeah, you can share as long as you hold this gun. Yeah, you can share as long as you get in this getaway car with me. Yeah, you can share as long as you. They make you jump through so many nasty hoops. Just for a little music. To be yourself. I think they done all blocked me on Instagram now, and that's perfectly fine. I really wasn't following the niggas anyway. I was on social media for a year, so what would it matter to me that they blocked me? You know what they can't block? They can't block karma. You can push all the buttons in the world you want, but karma don't respond to no buttons. And karma ain't got no purpose. When karma comes, it's not gonna come. It's polite. It's not gonna say, we regret to inform you. It's gonna say, nigga, y'all dead. You over. I was asked what I wanted to gain from this. And my answer was, I want to put them niggas out of business. I want to put them out of business. That's what I want. I don't want no money. I don't want nothing. I never needed nothing from them. They stole more from me than I ever got from them. And you know what? I kept it moving. Why would I worry about $1? I know how to make $1. People need to stop worrying about what's in my pocket. Start worrying about what's in my heart. That's where the real gold is. Yeah, we all got to pay our fares. We all got to pay our fares. They need to pay their fares. I charged them all with arson, including Keith McPhee, who told me before I signed the MCA and signed with the Roots that I was never going to make it because I wasn't nobody and because I didn't want to play the game. So when he ended up getting fired from MCA and had to come and work for us, that was very interesting. And then I watched him sit there and cheat on his wife with Tina Farris. who apparently was supposed to be the Jezebel or the Delilah or the concubine of the crew. I don't know nobody in that crew that ain't had a piece of Tina Ferris ass. I love you, Tina, I do, but you gotta atone. You gotta atone. You gotta atone for what you did to me. You gotta atone for what you did to Flo Brown. You gotta atone for the part you played in banishing New Ra, whose bad behavior only existed because she was trying to be like the boys. And when they got sick and tired of her, making a fool of herself, hurting people's feelings, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, they called somebody else. I think Scott Storch paid for her plane ticket home. The Roots ain't even paid for her plane ticket home. All those years that she procured girls for them and covered their secrets for them, and slept with them, cooked for them, and took care of them, and that's how they repaid her. They got somebody else to pay for her plane ticket back to London. I don't think nobody talked and knew. Sad. Because she put it all on the line. New Rob was extremely talented. She was so talented that Erykah Badu thought it was worth stealing her ideas. And now New is gone. Nobody talks about that. Black Lily, the greatest, working sick and tired of paying for it. They said they didn't want to pay for it. We were getting too much time. So then they had to put it on my budget. My recording budget paid for a good share of Black Lily as it stood in Philadelphia. I paid for Black Lily. I didn't get paid for Black Lily. I performed for free every week. I didn't get paid for Black Lily. I paid for Black Lily. So the simple fact that the woman who's responsible for maintaining the financial structure of it so it could run and y'all could come there every week. We need to get this to the bottom of what the ugly is. And for every woman that ever got on a tour bus, for every woman that ever went backstage, for every woman that ever decided to go back to the hotel and you had an unfavorable experience with them, I apologize because I saw all of y'all come and go. Shoot, I remember there was sometimes girls would get on a bus in one city and get left while she was in the bathroom in another. That's somebody's daughter that they left stranded after they ran through her. Left that up, stopped there to hitchhike home. Didn't even give her no money to get home. Couldn't even get her a car. They were awful to women. You know, I wasn't really going to say anything, but I think I need to. There's a woman that I had mentioned on one of my other lives. She called herself the hip-hop granny. She was a retiree. When I met her, she was 65 years old, and she had a book backstage while we were on tour, and she showed me all of the rappers that she slept with. And she had pictures of everybody, and she had a picture of Tupac on her titty, and, you know, I won't bother going and saying who all the men were in the book. Some of them had the common sense to stop banging her after she turned 60. I wish the Roots had that same idea. She was 65 years old. You know, it was an OK Player tour. It was disgusting. It was one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen men do in my life. 65-year-old Caucasian woman, titties hanging to the floor, bent over, got somebody in her mouth, got somebody in her backside, and Keith McPhee sitting there smacking her. She said, hey, play nice. That's what you got fired from NCA to become a minion for a bunch of boys. You should be ashamed of yourself, Keith McPhee, that you that desperate for that. Can't talking about how good NBC is treating y'all during COVID. You lost your job at NCA because you had no integrity. You'll lose this one the same way. I intend to keep talking until Jimmy Fallon finds it not in his best interest to do business with you anymore, because I'm going to attach him to everything you do. See, y'all don't understand power. Y'all don't understand what real power is. I'll tell you what real power is. It's not moving the niggas around that are with you. It's moving the niggas that are moving them around that. These corporations have gone too far. And now that we're in the era of white guilt, and it's so great to be pro-black, let's talk about it. Let's talk about these corporations that pay y'all money to do the things that you do to people. Let's talk about it. I wish I had as much integrity back then as Flo Brown. I really wish I did. Who the hell parties on a 65-year-old white woman? How can you possibly be that bored that you party on an elderly woman? I mean, she had a whole AARP card, bro. Like, she the arthritic sex kitten. I don't care if it's on our bucket list. You ain't got to be in there. It was the most embarrassing night of my life, dealing with them, to see how low. And they just having a good old time with the hip-hop granny. If she's still alive, I mean, this was 1999, 2000, so if she's still alive, she's 65, then she'd be like 85 now. If anybody knows who the hip-hop granny is, whose bucket list was to screw every rapper she could get her hands on, you tell her to find me either here or on Facebook. I think she took pictures with the guys she took pictures with everybody else that night. But I just looked at them, I was like, how the f*** niggas partying on grandma, yo? Like, how is that, how does for a 65-year-old white hanging to the floor, talking about don't smack that hard? These niggas is insane. And that's why I'm doing it. It's gotta end. It's gotta end. There's women that still work with and for them now that don't feel comfortable drinking around them. We should talk about it. We shouldn't keep lying and hiding. But we need to talk. And I'll be here if you want to talk to me. If you remember me from backstage or from the tour bus or from the hotel and I walked past when you was being mistreated, please forgive me. I couldn't look. I knew what was happening to y'all. It happened to me. Somebody told me today that I needed to stop doing what I'm doing to protect me. No one's going to be there for me. No one's gonna save me. And my response is that I don't need to be saved. Jesus already saved me. I don't need nobody to save me. But I do have allies. I won't say who they are. You'll find out when it's time. What I will say for the people that need to send threats, I've been dealing with threats my whole life. I started fighting when I was 4 years old. I had to fight my way out of a crowd of girls. I'm a fighter. It's what I know. It's what I do. So if you want to try it with me, come on. I'm ready. You want to take my life for it or die for it? I'm willing to die for everything I stand for. Are you? You know, before you start issuing threats about what you're going to do to people, just remember this. I walked out of jail looking better than I did when I went in. I became friends with the director of Cook County Jail, not because I'm a criminal, but because I'm Jaguar. He never called me by inmate number or name. He called me Jaguar. That's what the director of Cook County Jail referred to me as when he would come by my cell to check in on me. What's up, Jaguar? How you doing today? How's everything going on the tier? I'm Jaguar everywhere I go. They thought I was going to be stripped of it because I was locked away. I was just as free there as I was anywhere else. I was still doing me, teaching girls how to read. I'm me everywhere I go. I don't change. So anybody that feels like sending threats or issuing warnings, you know, I wrote a song on my second album. It's called Do Your Worst. And the lyrics go, do your worst. We'll settle up later. You can come down here to Texas if you want to. You can send anybody in Texas here you want. This is an open carry state. Everybody know how Texas play. We ready? I'm ready to die for it. I'm ready to die for making sure that no more women are destroyed in the wake of what I survived, of what I was tasked, charged to deal with. I'll die for that. I'll die for something. I won't die for nothing, but I'll die for something. But you should be advised. I'm a qualified sniper. Hand-to-hand combat is something that I grew up with. Please don't make me hurt nobody. I really don't want to hurt anyone. Somebody said don't let nobody know where you live. Everybody knows where I live. You can come through here. Jesus Christ is my alarm system. And my Smith & Wesson. My Smith & Wesson. That's my friend. Y'all niggas can keep issuing threats. Nobody's afraid of you. I'm ready. Ladies, look out for me on Women Crush Wednesday. And if y'all need to talk or vent, especially anybody that's been mistreated by the Roots, especially during the years of 1999 to 2005 when I was around, I want to apologize to all of you personally. We got to be better to each other. It starts with setting an example. Ladies, don't be afraid. Don't be like me. Don't hold this nonsense until you have a nervous breakdown and feel like you're losing your mind. Because you ain't got no more space in you to run from the lies. You don't have it in you to keep omitting the truth. Truth got me out of jail, and the truth gonna walk me through this. I'm good. And I'm ready. So anybody that's got a problem with me, other than CDL, text